there was this like epiphany for me. I remember it was 2006, and I just got my first job in finance, renewable finance, and they sent me to Milan to EU PVSec, which is a massive, still today, it's a massive conference.
We could have met there. Maybe we did without knowing.
Yeah, maybe we did. Yeah. We had a coffee like, 15 years ago. Yeah. So I went to EU PVSec, and because I came out of the Nordics, I kind of didn't know that much about PV. Because renewables for us was like wind and biomass. So I thought like a PV conference, I thought it was going to be kind of like futuristic, a bit fuzzy. And then I turned up at PVSec, and it was like a ready to go industry. I mean, it was a global industry of professionals, and it was just there, it was just working. It left such an enormously strong impression on me that I just felt like, look, I don't know what we're waiting for. Like, obviously, this technology is just completely done. It's like packaged, it's working, it's professional. Like, these guys just know how to do it. And I mean, first of all, I felt like, I want to be a part of this because this is it's so modular, it's so flexible. It's like something you can deploy everywhere. But secondly, and this comes back to your original question, like, what's the bottleneck here? Because the bottleneck is not the technology, because it's there. And the bottleneck does not seem to be, anything else that needs any particular kind of technical innovation at that point. The bottleneck just seemed to be, how is this going to end up on every rooftop and every, how are we going to deploy this at this rate, at the speed that we need to make an impact? And the more I thought about that, the more my conclusion was that commercial business models, that's really the real bottleneck, because there's only two ways that you can kind of deploy solar at scale. The one way is by asking the government to subsidize it, and the other way is to find commercial use for it, so power users actually pay for it. And the government way, it works, but it's always risky, because then you change government and then suddenly you have nothing, and you get these complete boom and bust cycles. And it's just like it doesn't feel like a long-term way of doing things. Whereas commercial business models, if they work, if you really deliver value to the people who use power in this world, then, as far as I could tell, it would be something that would grow over time and and become just more and more important the larger it got. So yeah, that was the thinking.